Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to do a gel nail. I'm gonna do it on a tip. Most people do it on forms, but I'm gonna do it on a tip today. If you guys want to see a form, let me know. I'm gonna use the Young Nails system. This is their Synergy Base Gel. And this gel is a lot thinner than their Build Gel. And then this one, I just have clear. The Build comes in different colors, but I just have clear because for one, I don't do a lot of gel. And you can always add colors into the actual gel. So if you have a gel, like a gel polish that you like, you can actually take a little bit on a paint palette and mix it in if you want to color. But like I said, I don't do a lot. So we're gonna take this. I already prepped the tip and I already shaped it. If you need shaping help, there's a video already on shaping all different shapes. So we're gonna start with prepping this. So after you prep the nail, apply the tip, shape it. I'm going to rough up the tip part because it needs something to adhere the gel to. Because gel likes to stick to scratchy surfaces. If it's not scratched up, the gel will peel off 90% of the time. Okay, and then I forgot my protein bond again, but I'm gonna need paper towels. Man, I need a lot of stuff. Hold on 1 second. Protein bond. Got it. And then I don't have a paper towel. I'm gonna use this cotton real quick. But so, anyways, you'd use your dust brush or a lint-free wipe before you put the protein bond and just get the extra dust off. And then we're gonna put the protein bond. The protein bond you only need on the natural nail plate, not the tip. That's just kind of wasting product. If you want, you can put it right at the line where the tip meets the natural nail. And then you'd go through and do that to all 10 nails if you're doing a full set. If you're doing the form, I would just do one nail at a time. So that, and then we're going to take our Synergy Base Gel, and the base gel is exactly that. It's just the base, so you don't need a lot. We're going to start in the cuticle area, and you're kind of just going to float it to the back. You don't want it touching the cuticle, you don't want it rubbed up against it, and we're just going to brush a thin layer all the way down. You can stop at the natural nail if you want, but I just brush it all the way through. Got a little too much going on right there. See, if that was a real person, it would have got their cuticle. So yeah, this you're just gonna paint on super thin. And then we're gonna cure that in the light. We'll say 30 seconds, but I think the base gel you can do 15 seconds. And then once that's cured, oh no, I think I just cured this too. Oh no, I did. Okay. Well, if you guys accidentally cure your brush, we're gonna stick it in some gel cleanser, and if it's like all the way hard, acetone. But hard gel doesn't normally break down in acetone, so try not to do that. Don't do what I just did. Rookie mistake. I'm just gonna pour a little on here since I don't have. If anyone wants to know what this paper, you can even see I just poured some on here. But the paper I'm using is actually dental paper, and I like it because it has a clear backing on it, so most of your stuff that you're wiping on it isn't going to seep through. For the most part, it will seep a little bit if you have like way too much stuff going on. For the most part, it won't. Okay, I got that out of my brush. I got like that little piece left. Okay, saved it. Okay, let's not do that anymore. So once you cure it, you're just gonna take your brush and brush, it's called dry brushing. We're just brushing it down. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna open our builder gel. And then the builder gel, we're gonna take quite a bit and then get the excess off. And then I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm just going to lay it down and bounce it, and then we're gonna go side to side, coming down, just floating it where it needs product. If you run out of product or you need a little more, you can always add more. So we're gonna do that. And then once I got that, I'm gonna pick up another bead and grab it. It's kind of low. Grab it, and then we're gonna set it right before the cuticle area and just bounce it downward. I like the bouncing motion because it keeps the product in the middle, and I don't know, there's just more room to work with it. And then if I needed any more down here, I could finish coming down. I see a little corner that I need to get. If you have any hanging off, you can wipe it, or you can cure it and just file it off. That's up to you. So that looks good to me. So I'm gonna cure this and not put my little brush into the light because that was all bad. And we're gonna keep the client's finger kind of at an angle because we don't want them holding it upward and getting all the gel in their cuticle area. So we're gonna cure that for 30 seconds. And depending on the length of their nail is gonna factor in like how many times you're gonna need to cure their nails. So if you're doing a form, you're normally gonna create the structure first, so the tip, you're gonna make that real thin, just enough to start it, cure it, and then once that's done, you can take off the form or continue to leave it on. I take it off so I can actually see where the gel is at and what the thing looks like. So here I have a layer of gel, but as you can see, there's no apex, it's pretty thin, so I'm gonna need another layer. And I'm gonna start it about a third of the way down from the cuticle. If they have like a short nail, you just need probably one thin, the base layer, and a thin overlay layer. You're not going to need to build it up quite as much. So the longer the nail, the more you will probably have to put a couple of gel beads. Okay, so I'm going to start this here, and I'm just going to do what I did last and float it down. And with this bead, I don't really need any more at the ends. I'm just trying to focus it in the apex area. If you need to, move it around. I'm gonna grab a little more, and I'm just gonna drop this one right in the center. And then you can see I have a blob right there. So I'm gonna let the blob go. And then I'm going to take my client's finger and turn it upside down. And we're gonna let that gel collect to the area that needs to go. So, just gonna let it seep down for a second. It's kind of everywhere. And then look at it from the side. Like, I need it to go a little bit more back here. Okay, so I'm gonna let that set up for a sec. Wipe the sides. And then I'm gonna cure that. And then I'm going to check it one last time. If I need a little bit more for the apex, I'll put it. But I'm hoping I don't need that much more. Turn my light so the light's not on my brush. I think I cured it again. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, good. I was like, oh no, I cured it again. Okay, so I'm gonna look at it here. And as you can see, I have a hump here now because too much gel ran down to the bottom. And I still need a little up there, so we're going to not worry about the hump at the end right now. And then we're just going to start this at the cuticle and then lift up, and I'm just swishing back and forth, and then I'm going to let it go right there. And then that should be good. I'm gonna leave, see how it looks a little weird. I don't know if you guys can see, but oh no, the tip's gonna come off. It has like a little heel, but that's okay because I'm just gonna cure it for now, and then when I go to file, it won't be there. Need to grab my hand file, I forgot it. Okay, so that's done. I'm gonna grab, now I actually need a paper towel for her brush. What am I getting? Oh, the hand file. Okay, I'm back. So we're gonna take your gel cleanser or your alcohol, put it on a lint-free wipe or whatever you have, or the dust brush is fine too. And then you're gonna wipe off the sticky layer that's on the nail. Sorry if you can hear everything outside, I have my window open. Okay, so now we have this. It's looking like a hot mess. Okay, so now we're going to file our nail. Let me put this lid on here. So I'm gonna take it off just so you guys could see. But we have this hump that's going on here. The apex is good, it's up here. We're gonna thin this all out. The front, it's looking thick, but it's fixable. See, like even I still struggle with gel a little bit, so if I was like super good at application, I probably wouldn't have to do all this, but that's okay because that's how we learn. So I'm gonna take my finger, I'm trying to keep it in frame, and we're gonna start with filing the sides. So we're gonna file the sides into shape. If it's a client, make sure you're holding their skin back. You don't want to file on their skin. And make sure the file is straight. And then I'm going to file under here if there's any gel that got underneath. Same for this side. File any gel. And you can either hand file it because it's not too bad, or we can e-file it, but I'm going to e-file it. I'm going to use a sanding band, kind of at a medium speed. And then I'm going to start in the cuticle. And we're going to make sure our cuticle area is nice and flush. And then I'm going to come down the barrel of the nail. And then I'm going to come down this side. And I'm going to come down the other side. And I have like a big ledge going on right here, so we're going to fix that. So I'm going to come down this side. Now I'm going to come back through this part of the nail. We're going to get that little hump off. Alright, so we filed the top, did the sides. It's still thick, but we're going to take our hand file now and do a little hand filing. That's I think the pro I like about gel is that you can take the hand file and it'll file down so fast. So I'm going to show you. Like, this is how thick this nail is right now. So it's pretty bulky. So we're going to start, I'm going to start down here and I'm going to just go down towards me at an angle. I'm just going to bring this down towards me. Kind of like you're going towards the ground. So when you get the end pretty thinned out, well, hold on, this girl's finger doesn't want to stay in here. So now the end is pretty thinned out. It's not as thick, but the side is still pretty thick, so I'm going to take off the bulk around the sides. So I'm going to take our file and file this way into it, just brushing it around. And then we're going to do the other side. Now our nail's looking crooked. Okay. Now we're gonna look at it, and she still has a ledge here, so I'm gonna come around here and I'm gonna file this side. This side needs the most work. The other side's actually good. Okay, so got that filed now. And now if we look at it from the side, this part's going down, but this part's just kind of straight. So right here, I'm just gonna take a little off. All right. Now I'm going to flip her hand over when I'm good with how everything else looks. And we're going to crisp up the shape. So you're gonna hold their finger back right here, their skin, and I always hold the nail like this, and then I'll just file a little at a time. And you do want to file only a little at a time with the gel nails because it files so fast that you could just take it off what you need to keep, and then you messed up the whole nail. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Now we're gonna fix the end here, hoping you guys can see. And I'm just fixing the end by, you can't see if I'm holding it like this, but we're holding it straight, and I'm just going up and down. Because this is the side the client's gonna see, and they wanna see that nice crisp shape. All right. And then when it looks good to you, I'm gonna turn it back over just to check it one more time. And then I feel like there's a slight bulge back in the back area, so we're just gonna take that off. All right, we're looking good here, guys, looking good. Okay, so that is the gel now. Now I'm gonna take my cleanser and wipe it off, or I'm gonna have her go wash her hands at this point, whichever method you guys do. At this stage, I would get a dust brush if I didn't already and dust out all her cracks. Unless she's gonna wash her hands, then go have her wash her hands with the dust brush. Tell her to make sure she gets all the cracks. Don't use soap, because if you apply gel polish on top of this and she used soap, it's gonna make bubbles and oily spots in the nail, and it's not gonna cure correctly. All right, so that is the nail. Turn her hand around for you. Like, she doesn't have a super prominent apex, but it's still just enough to where her nails aren't gonna break. And then I guess I'll show you guys, I'll paint this one for you real quick, just so you can see how it looks. Let's see. Color. Like, I know I have colors here. Where are they? Oh, they're over here. Okay, I'm gonna use Candy Crush from D&D. So I just wiggle it back to the back part of her nail. Oh, you know what? I forgot a step. See, that's what happens when we're in quarantine so long. I just forgot a step. After you file the nail, then you can take your buffer and buff the nail, and then have her wash her hands. But since she is not a real person, it's okay. I changed up my filing routine, so I used to, like, this would be me finishing the nail. I wouldn't even buff her nail, and it turns out fine, but I just feel like buffing gives it that extra little, you know, especially if you're an extra little touch. Sorry, let me finish my sentence. Extra little touch, just because, what am I trying to say? And then wipe the sides, because that's how you lose your shape if you have too much gel on the sides. So wipe those sides. I'm gonna wipe that off. Usually it's all over my fingers by then. cure for 30 seconds. Forgot what I was saying about the finish filing. Yeah, buffing the nail, it just makes the lines not as prominent. So if you're doing lighter colors, it might show through more. So if you guys are having trouble with that too, it's probably because we need to buff the lines off the nail. But I don't like to buff too much, because if you over buff and there's not anything for that gel to adhere to, then it's gonna peel off right away. Ow, just gave myself a finger cramp. And then you want to make sure when you're putting the gel that there's no bubbles or lint in there. And it'll happen, because it happens to me all the time. I'll go to put a color on someone and there's mostly lint in it. There's usually lint for some odd reason. And you want to make sure the gel's on smooth. So if you see any like bubbles or anything in the nail that looks weird, you want to try to wipe it away with the gel color. And then if you let it sit for a second, it'll kind of level itself up, or out, not up. Okay, just gonna wipe under the nail, then we're gonna cure that. And let me get the top coat. Yeah, so you want to do the gel pretty as thin as possible, because once you get all 3 coats, the 2 layers of gel color and then the top coat, the nail can lose its shape. So make sure you guys are wiping the sides. And I don't know why I even grabbed this top coat, because this one is all messed up. Has like chunks of something in it, I don't even know. We're just gonna roll with that. I think there's a chunk up here, but I don't think I could get it out. Let's see. I don't think I made it chunkier. No. Hold on, guys. Let me grab you a good top coat. So I'm gonna wipe this off with some alcohol. Found another one. Sorry. Okay. Hopefully this one's good. Much better. If you guys see me swiping at it weird, it's because I can see little bubbles that I don't want to be on there when I cure this nail. All right, and there she is. There's our nail. She's looking good. Let me show you this profile. Don't mind her middle finger, but this shape is still there, still looking good. She's looking pretty.